Welcome back to West Ham Unofficial. I hope you are. Oh, well, this is the West Ham news show. Quite impromptu, this, after a depressing transfer update from ex-West Ham employee last night. I could only be joined by one man to do this show.
Morning, mate.
You're right, Dale, how are you?
Yeah, not bad, mate. Not bad at all. Just Monday morning, isn't it? So I've been getting on with a bit of work. Yeah. And then obviously you popped up and disrupted it all. So never mind.
Well, that's my job, and it always gets me going as well. The intro always gets me dancing. Steve, dancing moves out today.
Yeah, too early, Jake. I haven't had my coffee yet this morning, mate. I've had a couple of cups of tea, but I haven't had my coffee yet. But I'll have a little jig later on, mate.
Let's see who's in the chat. Randy, an update for you. There is now a Daya emoji. Can you believe that, Steve? There's now a only emoji.
Blimey, we all use the Daya emoji. There we go. Daya's emoji. What's happening on this YouTube? Good fun, though, isn't it? Good fun.
Yeah. Randy says, I don't know why West Ham fans would want Abraham in the first place. Wood is an experienced head that brings leadership and grit in the air. Him in a better team would excel further. We'll get onto that in just a second. Andy, morning, Jake. First of all, buzzing for this evening. And thank you for all of the shows you've done over the weekend. Top draw. Thank you very much. You've got to thank Steve as well, who's been here for pretty much most of them. All of the emojis being used there by Andy. Dare is a legend. Look at that.
I wouldn't go that far, Andy. I wouldn't go that far, mate. Oldest get on YouTube, maybe, but...
Right, let's do a peach. Daya's in the building. Daya's in the building. Rah, rah, rah.
Right, I've been just reading... I was watching Peach's video this morning that you sent me. I sees in the news.
Yeah, He's gone viral in the news. I can't believe it.
I have heard there's an exclusive coming out on Peach.
Is there? When?
Yeah,
where?
I don't know what it's about, mate, but I have heard there's an exclusive about to hit the headlines, and it involves Karen Brady. She wants a word with him or something.
Wow. Duke says, morning, Jay. Just a quick thank you. Keep up the great work. Thank you very much. And there's the Daya emoji being used there by Duke. There it is. Let's scroll down. Subscribe to Steve's channel. The Day's Banter. There it is, just there.
Oh, yeah, that'd be great. Yeah, if you could, I'll get my angles right here at last. When we were setting up, right, I kept sitting over the Day's Banter by there, and Jake was saying, well, move across, and I was moving across the wrong way. I can't get used to which way to go here in the studio. But if you could subscribe to the show, that'd be brilliant. Brilliant.
Definitely. And it's the three legends in the chat, me, Duke, and of course, Jake, and Daya as well. Daya's a legend.
Daya is a legend.
Yeah. Let's have a look who else is in the chat. Everyone's saying hello to each other. The disabled team, Harry Kane not turning up for training has rattled the Spurs community. It
has rattled them. I've just that news is just broke and the numbers are going through the roof on that story. He hasn't turned up to their training ground in Enfield today. Sky Sports have obviously been tipped off that he wasn't going to turn up because all the reporters were there. He was due back from his holiday. He's had a short holiday after the Euros and no doubt he's on his way to the Olympic Stadium.
Got a point with Steve.
Is Sullivan going to shock us all? And we're signing Harry Kane, throwing all the money at the striker. No,
Marquee striker. Andy says, got a point, Steve?
No, a little bit early. Beer o'clock is 6 o'clock tonight, 6 o'clock. I'm trying to ration down, but I keep coming on this show and end up drinking all the time. So I've got 6 bottles behind in the studio at the moment, and this morning I was looking at them with a cup of tea, go, right, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, 6 days, right? 1 bottle a day. But you end up coming on this show and all 6 go.
Well, what were you next 2 in about 5 minutes for a charity?
Yeah, that was all for charity. I don't normally drink that fast, Jake. Not quite that fast. As you know, when you're in the bell with me on your bloody expensive J2Os, there's me buying the cheapest beer. For what, £3.10? We had a nice pint of IPA at £3.10, and you're buying bloody J2O at £4 something.
Oh no! Don't lie! Come on, don't lie. They were about.
You got expensive tastes. You have. When my credit card's out, you've got bloody expensive tastes. I know that.
Right, let's have a look at some more comments. Oh, and we skipped over James one. James says, don't know why people think we was going to sign both. Lingard, thanks for the memories, but we used him as much as he used us. Seamer, now get the man. Frankie says, hi Dare and Jake, what's the story of Lingard? We're going to get into it in just a second. Let's go through the last couple of comments. Stephen Spratt's got this on in work, like you would get me in trouble. Sorry, Stephen.
If you get sacked, Stephen, don't worry, I'll give you a job, mate. It'll be all right. You can replace Adam Brown because he's bloody hopeless.
Morning, gentlemen. I hope you are well, Scott. Kent Hammers is in the building. Good morning, Dare and Jake. I hope you're well.
Morning, Kent.
Steve hasn't had his coffee yet.
No, he hasn't, mate. That's the next job after this show.
Frankie says, hopefully your channel day is as good as Jake's. No drinking on the job.
Well, thank you, Frankie. And if you haven't subscribed, tune in and you'll find it superb. It's as professional as Jake. And Jake is quite often on the show to get a bit more professionalism to it.
Yeah. Scott's back to work this morning. A little bit of ordering already going in Wednesday evening. Oh, dearie me. 8 likes, 20 people watching. Come on, 25 likes. Let's get them up. We need 25 likes.
Hit the likes, everyone. Let's hit those likes. It's important you like the show because you obviously like it because you're on, but hitting that like button helps old Jakey get his algorithms moving. You know, a bit like his bowel movements in the morning. They need a burst.
Indeed. Morning, Simon. I hope you're well. Frankie, subscribe to the day's banter.
Hey, top man, Frankie.
That puts you up to 130, Steve.
Yep, I did get up to 130 and someone unsubbed me. I felt like the sub coming on and getting sub back off again. Broke me heart, Dave. Broke me heart. But don't go unsubbing me. I'd be having me in tears.
So Scott, don't forget golf this afternoon. I've got a feeling Simon and Scott are having a golf date today. I've got a feeling. Right then, let's get into some West Ham chat. Ex-transfer update. A little bit depressing last night, Steve. So to run through it, we'll go with Abraham first. Basically, we don't want to sign Abraham because his wages are too high, and he doesn't want to come to West Ham. He wants to go to Arsenal and sit on the bench, and he just doesn't want to come to West Ham. Your thoughts on that, Steve?
Well, he's a bloody idiot then, isn't he? If he didn't want to come to the Olympic Stadium and play your football, or the London Stadium, we should say. Oh, Randy's become a YouTube member.
He's an ultimate supporter as well. Randy.
You got me number one fan there signing up for you, Jakey boy.
Yeah.
No, about Tammy Abraham, it'd have been a good signing, but if a player doesn't want to come, there's no point pursuing it, is there? If his heart's not in it. I think he's a bloody idiot myself for turning down West Ham at the moment, but Arsenal, I think we're better than Arsenal, to be honest. I'd call that club the Chaos Club at the moment. So
good point.
Yeah, that's a bit disappointing, but there we go. I wasn't that bothered if he signed or not, to be honest. He's a good player, obviously, but he's not. You know, he's not a worldie, is he? He's not a worldie.
Yeah, I know. Already, Simon, for the golf this afternoon. Most importantly, how is Mr. Hotz feeling going back to work? I don't know. I don't think he's feeling great. So Simon subscribed 131, Steve.
Go!
Dear. Frankie says, yeah, you're welcome, mate. If you're as half as professional as Jake, I'll spread the word there.
Yeah, we do great watch-alongs as well, Frankie. You enjoy them. If you play back, you know, I'm enjoying doing the watch-alongs. Shows are all right, but I normally come on with Jake, to be honest. But I'm getting into these watch-alongs. I do like doing them, got to be honest.
Yeah. James says, well, why would you...
get an idea for a show, and young Jake, because I'll pick up my channel in September when he goes back to school and he can't broadcast, because I give him I get an idea and then Jakey nicks it. But like his J2Os and everything else he creams me for.
Unbelievable. Right, Randy's making a full use of the dare emojis there. I'm going to bring it up on screen because StreamYard don't show them. But if you're Steve, just for you, I'm going to bring this up on screen. He's enjoying them. Randy's enjoying the dare emoji, look.
Oh, yeah. Well, so that one's me in Marbella, isn't it? Yeah. You nicked that off me Twitter, did you?
Yeah, I did. There it is.
I look quite suave in that one. I got a bit of hair and I got me expensive sunglasses on, but I lost them on the pool table. I left them in the pool in the bar one night playing pool, and I went back to the boozer the next day. I said, hey, mate, you ain't got my sunglasses, have you? He said, are these the ones? And he held up a looky man's pair of $2.99. I think the other bloke walked away with me posh ones. So
here we go. More dare emojis being used. They're being flooded in the chat.
Look at that,
Flooded
mate.
in the chat.
I'm getting emotional.
So there we go. Jackson Arsenal fan said Abraham isn't signing for West Ham. I've no idea why he wants to sign for non-Europa League, non-Europe, no ambition.
Totally
Totally.
make no sense. The only thing that can be is money, I reckon.
Yeah, I think so. And they finished 10th last season.
Yeah, they're shit Arsenal at the minute. And I think they're going for it until they get rid of Arteta. I can't see him putting a decent side together.
Yeah, I agree.
He doesn't look organised. He doesn't seem to know what system to play, or he can't motivate his players to play the way he wants them to play. And last season, they were looking around on the pitch if they didn't know what was going on. So from a footballing perspective, why, if you were Tammy Abraham, why would you look at that and go, there's a shambles. Look at the way West Ham played last year, right? And I could fit into that side and play regular Premiership football with a push for the Champions League. Doesn't make sense. But these football players today, some of them are right fairies, to be honest. Prima donnas, mate. Prima donnas, some of them.
I know. Scott says, I love when Steve talks about his tomatoes and his beetroot. Don't forget his beetroot.
What were you doing? Well, I'm doing a test for Jake on those, actually, right? On my show, we have a bit of banter about everything, but I do grow tomatoes, as I showed the photo. I'd like to grow a bit of veg and a bit of tomatoes and stuff, and I thought, whack it on. You know, we've done a test as well to see how many views it got, didn't we, Jake? Just by not advertising it or anything, just see what it picked up on YouTube. But it's growing slowly. Yeah, it's growing slower than my tomatoes, but it's getting there. It's getting
there. Trev Chu says, I'm not fussed about Abraham. It's a relief, really, especially if he favours Arsenal. Thoughts on Holzcheck, Seema, Mbolo and Onuachu. Yeah, those four. I think especially Mbolo, Seema there, I think are the two that we're going to go for. X has also said keep your eye on Mbolo as well. So that's probably. I just don't understand it. I've been a real advocate. I've really wanted Abraham to come. He's proven in the Premier League and a goal scorer. I thought, yep, I'll have him. Our second choice, though, that X has said, so our first choice we now can't get. Our second choice, reported a couple of weeks ago, was Divock Origi of Liverpool. Your thoughts if we sign him as our second choice behind Abraham, choice of striker, Steve?
I haven't really. The name, I've heard the name, mate, but to be honest with you, I haven't really studied him, to be honest, and I don't watch Liverpool that much. And has he been getting in the first team? I don't think he has he?
I don't think so.
No, I don't want him, man. We want some quality. We want some quality in, don't we? I'm starting to tend, right? But I've got my faith this year in David Moyes, right? It's probably the most faith I've had in a manager since John Lyall. Right? When John Lyall was manager, you knew he was a great manager, so you just let him get on with the job. And obviously, we didn't have all the social media speculation and stuff there. But whoever he signed, I was happy with. When it was like Pellegrini and Slav and people like that, I used to question a lot of decisions and who they were looking at and targets and stuff, right? But after last season, to be fair, I think with Moyes, I'm going by his judgment, and I think he does a great job. I hate reading all the crap on social media. Like there was apparently some idiot posted up, "Oh, you call yourself a West Ham fan?" Posting that up, posting Sullivan and Moyes have had a big bust up. Sullivan had to leave the meeting. What a load of bollocks, right? Come on. You're meant to be West Ham fans. Get behind the manager. Don't start putting stupid rumours out that upset a lot of people, because some people will believe that. And Moyes is working his socks off at the moment to try and get his players. As you can see, that the players are not wanting to come for some reason. But there's a long way to go yet in this. There's a long way to go. You never know. Harry Kane could be right in Sullivan's office now. He's not far from the Enfield training ground. I doubt it, but stranger things have happened in football. Imagine that, isn't it?
Jack, Arsenal fan, says, I don't want him. He's not good enough in terms of Abraham. James says, Arsenal are a bigger club and won a cup even on their bad season. What's our excuse? I just think they're in a bad moment. Yes, they're a bigger club on paper, but I think West Ham's a good move for him. But
they used to be a bigger club. They're a club in chaos, James. They're more skint than we are. Put it that way. That's why I'm disappointed we haven't seen any signage yet. But This is
Well,
going to
will
be
it
I
show Ben
think
White
this
for
is
50
going to be
million?
the week. I do think this is going to be the week.
Yeah. They've signed a £50 million player, and I can't see much more coming in for Arsenal, to be honest. Jay says Tammy supports Arsenal. Does he really?
Okay, fair enough, then. If you support Arsenal and you got the chance to go and play for your passion club, should we call it, then I can understand that. If he's an Arsenal fan, that makes a lot of sense. There's a good reason why he's not coming to West Ham, and I'd say, because if I was a football player, would you want to, if you had the choice of West Ham or going to play for, let's say, I don't know, argument's sake, Newcastle, right? You're going to choose West Ham every time, aren't you, if you support the club?
Yeah.
And the wages is there, of course.
Yeah.
It's normally the money that takes you away, isn't it? It's normally the money that turns you away from your passion club, should we say.
Scott says I can see us going for Ings. Kent Hammers says more money is only motivation if you're happy to sit on the bench. If true for Tammy, I don't want him. I don't think he's Moyes' type. Andy says Armstrong for me. Odson, Edward, Palace are chasing now. Both would be good additions. Jack says personally, I'm very happy to have a season without European football. Yeah, I think it killed you last season, to be honest. They got a big job interview tomorrow. Any professional tips? Randy's got a big job interview.
Yeah. Give us a shout on Twitter later on, Randy, and I can guide you through a few tippers, mate. What interview are you going for? What are you going for? New Zealand manager or anything to do with sport?
Kent Hammer says Origi, no thanks to Bob. Jack's agreeing with James. Let's scroll down. Scott says Harry Kane has not shown up to Tottenham training this morning. He'd love it. Oh, we do.
Well, it's great news, isn't it? It's funny though, isn't it? It is funny. Right? And that's quite an insult to the club as well, just not showing up for training. They've obviously extended his holiday period because of the Euros and so forth. He goes on holiday and doesn't turn up for work, basically. So it's quite embarrassing that for Tottenham, isn't it? Is it? I don't know. I find those. I think that's embarrassing for Tottenham. Fair enough, flog him, get your money worth, but if you're playing not to even rock up when you want him in, go AWOL. Harry Kane is AWOL.
See, the problem with Ivan Toney, Scott says Ivan Toney would be perfect. I don't understand why we won't go and get him. I don't think now that Brentford are in the Premier League that he'll leave Brentford. I don't think he will, to be honest with you. Fantastic. I'd love him to sign, but I just think that's dead in the water, to be honest.
Yeah, I think there's a good relationship, obviously, between the West Ham board and the Brentford board. That's why we get the friendlies and we get the players when they're ready to move and stuff. And I can't imagine. I think the Brentford board would be wanting to hang on to Ivan Toney. I think he'd be a good player. It'd be a good acquisition. But we didn't see much of him on Saturday. He didn't play long, did he? But he's a good player. But I don't see that coming off this season, at least. I think if he gets a bit of a reputation in the Premiership and then and he starts doing well this season, it wouldn't surprise me if he did come at a later date.
Yeah. We're going to move on then because, we could be here talking about strikers for a long time. Jesse Lingard, the next thing, Steve, he reportedly, according to X, wants to either stay at Man United or move abroad. He has no ambition to come back to West Ham. Your thoughts on that, Steve?
I was very disappointed, actually, to hear that one. And I was shocked. That one did shock me, to be honest. I picked it up on Football with Brownie. Brownie had a little rant on it, on the thing. That's where I first heard it this morning. I don't normally follow Twitter that much because the trouble with Twitter, there's so much rubbish on there. You have to scroll through loads of rubbish to get some facts, Ex-West Ham, he gets some things wrong, doesn't he? Obviously, we're not going to knock him because he gets a lot right as well, right? So he is one I do sort of look at from time to time. He's obviously got to keep his reputation going of being in the know, isn't he? Because that's how he got his Patreon, whatever they call it, account, and that's where he makes his wedge, So, but that's disappointing, Lingard. I'm not sure what to make of it. I believe it, but I find it hard to believe, if that makes sense, right? Why? Because we saw how delighted he was at West Ham last season, right? We gave him the chance. We gave him the opportunity to go and we nearly got him back in the England squad, to be fair, as well, didn't we? Playing under Moyes and whatever. So none of that makes sense to me. The only thing, why abroad? Why would you want to go abroad?
Yeah. James?
Unless you're going to Barcelona, Real Madrid, or PSG, I don't see the advantage of going abroad, really. He's not going to get the money. The money's not going to be abroad. Apart from those, maybe, Italian clubs aren't paying a dough at the moment. They're trying to offload their big eye earners. So that doesn't make any sense. So it's a weird one, that. Very strange.
Yeah. James, your thoughts on the whole Lingard saga?
Ambition, mate. Ambition. If we're going to get real, and we're going to start talking real and talking sense, West Ham are not an ambitious club. Otherwise, if we wouldn't just be sitting here with a lone goalkeeper from PSG. We need to go out and sign 4 or 5 players, and we've only signed 1. And we're mucking about. Listen, Lingard, thanks for the memories, but we used him as much as he used us. He done well for us. He scored the goals that got us into the Europa, and that's why we're sitting in the Europa League this year. I've seen things on social media and Twitter and everything, right? People slagging him off, saying, you know what, you're rot, good. You know what I mean? Let's have it right. Last year, you're praising him and saying that he's the best thing since sliced bread.
That's toxic Twitter for you, and that's why I don't read it.
Yeah, but at the end of the day, though, don't say one thing, and then when he don't come to us, because he wants to have a bit of ambition and go and win something somewhere else, right? West Ham in 41 years haven't won a trophy, and let's all sit back and ask ourselves why. Because we're not an ambitious club. An ambitious.
Where's
club
the ambition with Lingard? Where's the ambition of going abroad? What's he going to do?
I think Lingard now, though, has got the opportunity to go and play wherever, so to speak. He ain't going to get in the top 6 teams in.
No, he's not going to sign for Barcelona. He's not going to sign for Real Madrid. He's not going to sign for very doubtful.
I can see him going to a side in Spain that's kind of mid-table ish. I reckon.
Yeah, but they ain't going to be able to pay him what he's on.
He could go to somewhere like Germany, though, couldn't he? Let's be honest. He could go. If Dortmund said to him,
yeah, but James, they don't pay the wages, mate. That's the thing. He's on a few $100,000 a week or whatever he's on, right? You ain't going to get that money in the Bundesliga. They don't pay those wages. That's why all the Germans always come to the UK. So the going abroad shows to me a lack of ambition more than ambition. He's looking for.
You can't say that. Sorry, Jay. You can't say that though. You can't, because Sancho went abroad. Jude Bellingham's gone abroad. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, but they're younger. They were younger, mate. When they went, they were younger. So that was a stepping stone for them to get into the Premier League. They've come. I can't see it. There's no ambition. Hey, I get it. If you go and sign for Barcelona, if Barcelona come knocking on your door, you're gone, right? Whoever you are, or Real Madrid, or PSG. Right, Italy now hasn't got the money anymore that he used to shell out. So you're not, let's remember these players are all looking at the pocket, right, with their agents and all the rest of it. So going abroad for me, I understand what you're all saying about West Ham, right? We haven't signed anybody to say, look, Lingard, we're bringing in this one, that one, blah, blah, blah. But of course, we're not privy to the conversations between Moyes and Lingard, and maybe Moyes could be saying, well, we're trying to do this or trying to do that or whatever, to get him into the club, right? But and I'll tell you another reason why I find it strange, whether this, because we don't know if this is true or not, of course, right? This is speculation, so it comes from speculation. But we got to look at the facts sometimes, right? Man United asking 30 million, so Man United haven't even been prepared to sell him yet, unless you pay him 30 million quid. So really, where does Lingard get an opinion in that? Because until that contract can be solved, there's no point in making a comment of going anywhere, because until Man United agree something with him, say, look, West Ham have come in with 20 million, or Real Betis have come in with 15, and you can go and do this and do that, with flog you. So that makes me sort of wonder if it's true.
See, Scott makes a very valid point. I wonder what Declan Rice makes of all of this. And I think if I was Declan Rice sitting here now and thinking they're not offering me a good contract, I wanted to come here for them to have ambition to sign players this summer, and we've signed a fantastic goalkeeper. Let's be fair.
Well, I know Declan Declan Rice, Declan Johnson, another player of mine. Right, I was just doing some business with him this morning. But Declan Rice, I can tell you now, is happy as a pig in shit at West Ham. Right, and he wants to be the next Bobby Moore. He wants to lead the club, and I'm sure he's happy with his wages as well. And that comes that comes from somebody, and I can't tell you his name, right? But put it this way, he was on the bench during the Euros, right? Sharing the hotel with him and everything else, right? And
I think I know who you're talking about, Steve.
Say again.
Right. Let's take some more comments then. Scott says quite possibly a purple spell that he'll never have in his career again. We may have dodged a bullet with him. See, here is a very good shout from Ken Ammers. I can see Lingard going to Villa if Jack leaves. Perfect.
Well, that wouldn't be ambition going to Villa.
Well, Steve's just sound's gone.
He won't be going Villa. He'll go Leicester, mate. If he's going to go anywhere, he's going to go Leicester. Any...
Hello?
Hello? I can hear you.
There you go.
If he's going to go anywhere, Jake, he's going to go Leicester, mate. 100%. Like, he's going to get Maddison. They're going to get Maddison out of there if he don't sign a new deal, and they're going to sign Lingard. Plays European football. He's in a team who could possibly win something this year. Like, I'm not being funny enough. I heard what they were saying. Yeah, Declan Rice will not hang about if Manchester City come calling. Like, or that's down
to the board, though, isn't it? The board. Once the board tell you they want to flog you, that's a different story altogether.
You know full well though, they love a pound note, mate. And if the pound notes can start rolling,
Hey, if 150 million came in for Declan Rice, right? The board are going to agree it with Man City before they even go to the players. Say, look, Man City have offered 150 million. It's time for you to move on, son. Then the
thing is, people got to understand, right? West Ham, is we're never 2 seasons the same. Right, we have one good season, and we have 5 seasons where we're either very, very poor or we're just average, right? And at the end of the day, like, and as I keep saying it, and I keep banging the drum with the GSB out thing and everything, until this ball go, we will never go to the next level because we haven't got the financial backing. We've had the best season in 22 years, and we've only signed 1 goalkeeper. That is unacceptable, in my opinion.
Yeah, but I think this conversation, seriously, James, right, and I agree with a lot of what you say. You know that. I think we've got to wait at least to the end of this week before we start really worrying, right? Because I got a sneaky feeling that there's a few signings coming in this week. Then we can look at it. If we haven't, I'll tell you when my ass will start going, right, is at the end of this week. Come Sunday night, if we haven't signed 2 players at least, right, I will be a worried man. Because my worry is that we got this obviously European football coming. Now, we even saw it Brentford on Saturday, didn't we? You know, we got youngsters having to fill the bench who played the bloody Friday night. That's embarrassing, really.
Is that poor management? I just want to ask this: is that poor management, or is that lack of direction from the board? Right, because we all know what date the season starts, and we're worrying about if we're going to sign any outfield players before the start of the season. Like, Villa have gone out there and gone, right, I'm going to go and get him. They might be selling Grealish, right? I get that. But there's other clubs, like Leeds have done business.
Yeah, but is it as good business? Yeah, but you take Man City, they're only starting now, aren't they? Look at the Premiership champions, and now Kane hasn't turned up for training today. We all know he's off to Man City. Grealish, that's all still being negotiated and sorted out for that move. So Man City... You know, and after European Championships, if you're going for a decent quality, you do get a delay in the transfer market, right? It happens every time there's a World Cup, European Championship, whatever, right? So let's look at Man City. They've started to do their business, right? They've got rid of what they needed to get rid of, and now they're starting to do their business. So I think this week is pinnacle to West Ham, and we see some business this week. If we don't see business this week, right? Because all the names are starting to come out now, aren't they? We've gone weeks of no names even being mentioned, apart from Tammy Abraham, right? So they're obviously working deals behind the scenes, we would all hope, right? And by Sunday night, if we haven't signed 2 players, then I'll start really worrying.
That comment there is absolute bang on the money. Let's done 1 injury away from a disaster.
Oh, bang on the money, mate. Bang on the money. You know, let's take it. Antonio went down against Brentford. your heart's in your mouth. He's broke his ankle. You think, oh, I hope he ain't broke his ankle. You can't be in that position in the Premiership. You've got to be in a position of Antonio's out, in comes so-and-so straight away. Do you know what I mean? That's what needs to happen, and that's how we need to push on in the Premiership. We've got to have our squad is paper thin for me, paper thin.
Yeah. Anyway, we're going to leave it there. This sums it up. Mitrovic on deadline day.
Don't be surprised, Jake. Don't be surprised if it does happen, mate.
Well, there we go. Steve, I think all of us are going to be worried this time. Well, Sunday next week.
I'll tell you where Randy might be on the money, mate, right? I'll tell you where Randy might be on the money is Chris Wood. I'm not saying I want him or don't want him or anything like that, but he's just finished the Olympics, so that would delay a transfer, right? I wouldn't. And old Brownie's like Kiefer Moore hasn't moved yet from Cardiff. He's bound to go. Kiefer Moore will go to the Premiership as a striker this season. There's no doubt about that. Cardiff simply cannot afford to keep a £15 million asset, right? So he's going to the Premiership somewhere, and that merry-go-round, Moore goes in. Once they secure Moore, right? Chris Wood.
I'll be absolutely fuming if we sign Chris Wood, mate.
Well, I won't be fuming until we see him play and see what Moyes gets out of him. If Moyes thinks he's the player that he needs, I think we have to have faith in the manager to say, right, if you wanted him, David Moyes, right? Because Moyes does like playing with that big man.
Because there's a player sitting over in Slavia Prague who's 20 years old who's made for the Premier League in SEMA. And we've got a good relationship with him, no disrespect, go and buy it, just go and pay the money. Like it's the old saying, if you pay the money, they will come. And at the end of the day, if we go and get Chris Wood out of Burnley, mate.
I know we've got Kufal in the Czech Republic, but a lot of Czech Republic players also can't, maybe not up to speed, mate. It's a massive different level playing in the Czech Republic to playing in the Premiership.
I think he's up to it. But Trev Tube says, I hope the signings come in. It does panic us lot and demoralise us as well. But I guess they are negotiating prices and wages to get the best value. I hope they are. You
remember that to go shopping for football players, it's not like popping in Tesco's and buying a pint of milk. Right? There's a lot goes on. There's a hell of a lot goes on with all sorts of things to get the deals over the line. But what I want to see is Sullivan actually attempting to get deals over the line. Right, properly, not with we missed him or the price went up or blah 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 like we've had before. We want to see deliverance, but I think this week, well, hope more than think is. I think we'll see a couple of signings this week.
Yeah, you just said there, though, Data. Sorry about him, but you just said something there. Yeah. Now Jake had a football agent on the show that you helped him get on. Right. Good. I watched it. Absolutely brilliant. And someone put a comment in there that was bang on the money. Why does Villa and Leicester get transfer deals over the line so rapid? Like they look at a player, they go, "Yeah, that's the player we want."
A lot of it depends on your target and your availability of your target, the negotiations with the target. He may be still shot. Remember, football players are mercenaries these days. Right? I'll be honest. A lot of football players are mercenaries. Now, when I was in the agency game more, I still do a little bit. I still do a bit with Goddards and a few bits and bobs, but not like and I'll tell you what put me off, right? And when you're signing players as 17-year-old, when they get their first pro, back in the day, mate, right? They were so grateful you got them a pro contract. On a contract, you can only sign them for 2 years, right? And they would be grateful. They'd work their nuts off to be a football player, right? It wasn't about the money. It's what they wanted to be a football player at that age at 17. Today, they swagger around. They get $5,000 a week at 17, right? With these headphones on and giving it all the moves. Yeah, and it's ruined the sport. They're mercenaries. And football players, when you're doing a deal, a lot of them just want the money. Yeah. Right? Yeah, but it's like,
I'm not disagreeing with you there, though. Right, but what I'm just saying is, like, what Scott's just written there, yeah, about Daka. We was linked to Daka for months, right? It was like we wanted him. Right, it was a player that we had looked at in January. Right, we consistently looked at. Leicester go out in the summer window. Bang, that's the man I want. Go and get him. Like, why? Why did it take West Ham so long? I'll tell you the reason why I think, as a fan, yeah? As a fan looking at it, and not looking at it from an agent's point of view or anything like that, looking from a fan, is because our board look at the pound note before they look at anything else, right? They look at try and save a few quid
Don't
for their
all
own benefit.
businessmen know, James. James, don't all businessmen look at the... Of course you do. That's why you buy a football club. A football is a business at the end of the day.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, but at the end of
I'm
the
not
day,
saying...
you don't put business before the club, if that makes sense. Like, as we're all West Ham fans here, right? Granted, but at the end of the day, when you've got owners who value money rather than the club, then that, I'm afraid, that's going to always overshadow the club. Like, the pound note's always going to come before the claret and blue. So, like, you know what I mean? You can't have it both ways.
Yeah, but let's go the other side of the coin. And hey, I'm no Sullivan fan, right? So before anyone thinks that, right? But the other side of the coin is, right, would you want, if Sullivan run the club into the ground and bust it, overspending on players, would the fans be happy then? No.
It's not so much
What happens in football? Let's just hypothetically say Sullivan won about 3 megastars today for millions, right? For the season, we would be, oh, well done, Sullivan, well done, you've actually spent some money. Come the end of the season and the administrator's knocking on the door or whatever, right? And a taxman's calling and we're in the shit and we're under a transfer embargo. Fans then, what could hell, Sullivan? You didn't do this, you should have done this, you should have done that.
Just to end it on this, this famous line that come out, we're going to get world-class players for a world-class stadium. So let's just remember that.
I agree. I never even wanted to move from Upton Park. I never trusted all this, but I was like you. I thought, oh, go on, then. If we really have to move, but they're going to give us Premiership, Championship football, top class for moving, right? That's why I can't stand them, because they're full of shit. Right? Excuse me, language. Sorry, Jake. Forget your age, but they're full of it, mate.
Bottom line of it, though.
That's what I'd love to see them gone, and us have new owners simply for that. Because what they've talked is they talk the talk, but don't walk the walk.
That is exactly it, and that's the bottom line. And we can really dig into them and put this. I think next week.
Let's see what happens this week. Stay calm.
If Pereira doesn't go through. Like, now, everyone's saying that Pereira is looking likely. I'm hearing that he is to a point. If that don't go through and they fail in getting Pereira from West Brom for a fee of about 22 million, then you've got to ask yourself, why do they keep failing on transfers all the time? Like, because there is transfers. Like, the Areola one, I think it took 3 weeks to get over the line. Like transfers don't take that long to get over the line.
Well, they do. Yeah, no, that's why you're wrong, James. They do. It can take longer than 3 weeks to get one over the line, mate. So many things have got, especially with a loan with an option. He's got to go through lawyers. He's got to go through directors. He's got to go so many different avenues to get a deal over the line. You got to get the player to agree. You got to agree his wages, his personal terms. Where's he going to live? What are you going to provide him? You forget all that, right? They don't just fly in by house. The club have to go sort him out a house. He has to be happy with it. They're prima donnas today, mate. They get everything on the plate. It's not like the old days where, I'll sign for them, I'll move and I'll get a flat there or whatever. It's you wouldn't believe, mate. It's like, I could tell you, I won't mention their names because they're West Ham players and I don't want to, but I've seen West Ham players, right, demand an apartment in Canary Wharf or they won't sign. Right, Sam Allardyce used to have an apartment in Canary Wharf on the club. The club's paying all this behind the scenes as well. And that player that I'm talking about wanted his apartment in Canary Wharf, and as soon as Man City came calling, he was off after hardly playing for us. He went on strike. Well, what is Craig Bellamy? Oh, I've dropped his bloody name in it now.
I was just sitting there thinking, who went to City from West Ham? And then Bellamy come in here.
Yeah, Craig Bellamy. He's the biggest mercenary going in football. All about the money. All about the money. And he demanded a Canary Wharf. And he wouldn't even have a 2-bed. He had to have 3-bedroom. He had to have this. He had to have that. They gave him everything, Craig Bellamy. And what did he? Went on strike as soon as Mark Hughes wanted him at Man City.
Wow. Well,
mercenaries, mate. That's what this is what boards are dealing with, right? It's not just dealing with a football player. They're dealing with mercenaries who want everything. And that's why it takes so long to get deals over the line. I'm not saying, hey, that's not sticking up for Sullivan, by the way. He's in that market, right? He's in that game, right, where he's got to go and deliver anyway. But that's the sort of stuff the West Ham board will be facing, like every other board. Every other board gets it as well, of course.
Wow. There we go. Thank you very much for watching. This has gone on longer than intended, of course. It always does.
Don't worry about it, mate. Don't worry, it's only 39 minutes. I'm going to have the rest of the day off now after I've been on your show and got 2 subs. I'm over the moon. I wonder if I can get 3.
There we go.
Hey, I get subs quicker than Sullivan gets players, don't I?
Very good point. Come on, you irons. I will see you very, very soon. Cheers, Daya. Cheers. Cheers, lads. We'll see you next time. Thanks everyone in the chat. Don't forget, tune in. All right, don't forget, tune in tonight, 7 p.m. Steve, it's going to be a good one.
It's the big one tonight, Frankie McAvenny. It'd be interesting to have his views on who's got the questions, because some of the viewers out there can go and ask him. What do you think of the modern day football player? Eh?
Trev Tube is, there you go, here he is. Trev Tube is words and pictures. Unfortunately, can't make it. But he's good. But he sent me a question that he wants. That he wants me to ask him. Trev Tube will be live on the show at around 7:20 if all things go okay. He's got his questions lined up for Frank McAvenny. I've got my questions lined up, and of course, hopefully, we will be. It will be good. And now we will hand over in 30 minutes time to Russ from My Hammers 11. Go and check out Russ's show. That would be greatly appreciated. Guys, watching, you've got a half an hour break now, and then you can head over to Russ's show. Pleasure as always, Steve, and I hope to see you in the chat later, putting your questions in for Macca.
Yeah, definitely, mate. What time is it again? I know you'll send me a message anyway, reminding me.
7 p.m. tonight.
7 p.m, not 7:30, 7 p.m.
7 p.m.
Clashes with Emmerdale, Jake. Bad move out, clashing with Emmerdale. Big murder investigation in Emmerdale at the minute.
Oh, God, classic Emmerdale. Christ.
I know that. Classic's on in a minute, actually, mate. What we got? Oh, we got little bit of time yet. Classic.
Right.
1:45 classic.
Oh, I got plenty of time. Make sure you check it out later on as well.
Can I just ask you something, Jake, before you shoot off?
Yes.
As a 14 this week, as a 14-year-old fan now, what do you think of West Ham signings and potential signings and what's going to happen?
I'm just like, come on, for goodness sake, just get on with it. I think I'm with most of the fan base here, and I think just get it over the line, please. Ambition.
What do you want over the line, though? What do you want over the line?
We need a centre back. We need a striker.
Agree. Yeah.
At least Pereira. We need these players, and
does your frustration come? Because everyone's starting to get frustrated, especially the younger generation, which I understand because you read lots of stuff on Twitter, and with social media never used to be around, did it? Leaking all the info or so-called info and trying to work out what's actually the truth. But
yeah,
is it because you're seeing other Premier League clubs acting earlier, like James there, like he quite rightly says, Villa are getting their business done? But,
I just think it's...
Or is it because you haven't got any faith in the board? Because... haven't you got faith in the board at West Ham? Like I say, Man City, let me just give you a question. Like we brought up the Man City point, right? Man City fans aren't moaning at all about their board because they always deliver. Is it because our board don't deliver that it makes you more nervous?
We see it every single transfer window. We saw it in January. We had a month to sign a striker. We didn't sign a striker. We seem to see it. It seems to be a recurring event that, at the start of the window, we think, great, come on, let's sign these players, blah, 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 blah. And it just doesn't happen. I don't think I've got the faith in the board. I really don't.
Right.
I really don't.
Well, it's interesting just to get your point of view. I know you present the show, obviously, and you concentrate on that. And it's great to get your perspective on it all, because I'm the same opinion. I know my son will be on to me later on. Go, we still haven't signed anyone. We still haven't bloody signed anyone. And every day...
You still haven't got an under-8s kit.
We can't get an under-8s. Oh, the commercial side, that's a joke, isn't it? Absolute joke. But that's my grandson, that is. But, it's interesting. But I know what you mean. We've been through it so many times, the transfer window, and so disappointed. But when it comes to transfer deadline day, and we still haven't signed anybody or hardly anyone, you know what I mean? But I'm just a little, I can't believe that our board would be that naive not to bring in players in at least this week after a top 6 finish. which should
We
have
will
been
see.
Champions
will
Champions
see.
League football. To be honest.
Final promise, there is the link, Football Content Awards. If you could, some people have already spotted me and voted for me in it. The Best Young Content Creator Award at the Football Content Awards. You can vote for me right here using that link. You can follow this section here, which I'm going to now put up on screen. Final part of the show. You can fill out me if you would like to for the best young content creator. That would be greatly appreciated as well. Following that link and doing all of that jazz. Right then, we're now going to go. Steve, thank you very much as always for coming on this happy.
My pleasure, mate. My pleasure. Do anything for you, lad. You know that.
Some of us have to work at least. Well, this is work.
Yeah, well, I meant to be working, but I keep getting back to school. I might get some work done. You're costing me a fortune, Jakey. But now, anytime, mate, anytime. I really enjoy coming on this show, and I will go and vote for you in a minute because your content's nearly as good as mine. So, only joking, mate. No, brilliant, Jake. No problem at all. And I'm really looking forward to the night. And yeah, you might break your record views tonight. You never know, mate. You never know.
Hopefully we can get record viewers on. That would be great. Thanks, guys, for watching, commenting, doing all of that jazz. The best show on West Ham Unofficial is coming later. Some people would argue the best show is probably a couple of nights ago where we got Peachy arrested. But Frank McAvenny tonight, you don't want to miss it.
Right, and also keep an eye out for the exclusive. There's a lot of rumour. We'll talk about all these strikers and stuff, but Peach is going to hit the headlines again, I've heard.
Wow. Catch you in a bit. Cheers, guys.